guys, you're listening to Sanditon Fancast, and we are a fan-created podcast about the masterpiece BritBox show Sanditon. We are your hosts. I'm Michelle. I live in the States. You can find me at Musings on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm Rita. I live in England, and I'm at Annoying Rita on Instagram and Twitter. Before we begin, we wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who has rated and reviewed our brand new baby. Every single one of your reviews fills us with joy. And please consider sharing the podcast with friends and fellow Sanditon enthusiasts. I know you're out there, because we want to find other like-minded crazy nerds, and I think the best way to grow is through word of mouth. And thank you for rating and reviewing. We love you. Love you!
Love you. Little heart eyes and finger hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Time to discuss episode 3 of season 2. It was directed by Charles Sturridge and written by Janice. I'm guessing that's it. It's Okoh. So my apologies to anyone with that surname. Janice is an award-winning playwright who has recently transitioned to television and has written scripts for Doctors and On the Edge. She is also the show's first non-white writer. Wow. Awesome. In season 1, 7 of the 8 episodes were written by men and 100% of the writers were white. So this is like the bare minimum, but we love that it's happening finally. Yay. So anyway, it's time for the recap.
Yes, strap yourselves in. This is going to take a while.
Yeah.
The episode began with Coburn galloping around on his horsey, which we soon learn is called Hannibal. He has named his horse after one of the greatest military commanders in history, so I found that very interesting. Mm-hmm. Hannibal is spooked when he hears the regiment's shooting practice in the distance. Whee! Over at the Parker house, the family are having breakfast when a package arrives. It's filled with posters advertising the annual Midsummer Fair that we seem to have missed last season. Mm-hmm. Anywho, Tom has hired an elephant for the occasion, which is apparently quite the coup in 1820. The whole family is excited for the best fair yet. Everyone except Charlotte, who has her face in a book, anxiously studying. Her subpar French skills will be tested today as she's to teach the girls. So brace yourself, dear listeners, for a lot of terrible French pronunciation, both in the show and on this recap.
On her way to Hayrick Park, Charlotte bumps into Colonel Lennox on the beach again. This man has worked out her route and what time she leaves for work, and it's giving obsession, it's giving stalker, it's giving shiny red flags. Anyway, they chat about her work, and he manages to conveniently draw the conversation onto her employer. She tells him that she hardly sees him, and she prefers it that way. Colonel Lennox looks relieved. Over at the rectory, Georgiana has also received a package, and when she opens it, she finds a beautiful sketched portrait of herself. It pisses her off for reasons, so she decides to just stomp over to Charles' studio unchaperoned and give him a piece of her mind. He was presumptuous and blah 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 sexual tension. Charles points out that he doesn't need permission to admire her, and if she is so offended, then why is she at his studio all alone?
Yeah, that.
That is how I see you. Doubtless it differs from how you see yourself, but maybe you could tell me how you'd like...
He asked me how I would like to be seen. I didn't know how to answer.
In my experience...
And then this Henkin shows up to finally do some chaperoning. Boo!
No, thank you.
No.
Esther and Lady Denham have decided to take in the stray, formerly known as Clara Bridgerton. She claims to have written to Edward constantly, but he didn't respond.
Slim,
The whole thing is very suspicious, so they summon Edward to explain himself. He looks confused and surprised at the whole father situation. He's like, who knows how many men she's been with since me, which is offensive. But also, I'm gonna need a DNA test because Clara is totally the type of person to pass off somebody else's baby as his. Mm-hmm. Edward tells them he never received any letters and that Clara is just there to extort them for money. Again. But obviously that sounds gross to the ladies, and he's sent away in shame. He bumps into Clara on his way out, and she tells him she had no idea he would be in Sanditon. She has taken all she needs from him, aka his seed, and has no use for him now. She plans on his child being a good deal richer than him. Using a baby to get at the inheritance is actually quite smart, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give it to her.
Yeah.
It's creative.
Yeah. Anyway, more to come on her later. Oh, sorry. Metaphor. I know.
Feel clean.
Charlotte arrives in the schoolroom, but only finds Augusta. When she asks where Leo is, Augusta replies in perfect French that Leo has disappeared because she didn't want to study today. Nevertheless, Charlotte has been hired to teach them, so that's gonna be a problem. Augusta tells Charlotte, still in French, that her uncle has hired Charlotte to keep the girls out of his way, and that he sees her, Augusta, as an insupportable burden. Oh.
Shout out to my basic French education, by the way, because Amazon Prime chose not to translate any of the scene.
Oh.
None of the French. Yo, Bezos speaks in French. Isn't gonna cut it with most people.
Right.
Anyway, Charlotte then runs around the grounds looking for Leo.
Instead of Leo, Charlotte finds Colburn at the stable yard, trying to calm Hannibal, who is going on a stampy rampage. She demonstrates some incredible and miraculous horse calming skills. All she does is shh, but that works. The horse is chill as hell, and Colburn seems impressed. He thanks her and wonders if she can use those same skills into taming his wayward niece and daughter. Where are his wards anyway? About that.
Over at the Parker house, Tom is having a full-blown meltdown because they have been outbid by another town for the elephant. Quel disaster! But don't worry, guys. Arthur is on the case. That's so cute, and I want to see that cow.
I do too.
Tom goes on a rampage, pulling down all the posters for the fair around town. He clearly is not on board with the Moo plan.
No.
Colonel Lennox happens upon him and
there
offers
is
to
a cow
help,
in Muddyford
which
that can
means
moo,
when
God
Arthur
save
runs
King.
in with the exciting news
I shall make urgent
secured a
inquiries.
gigantic horse for the fair, I googled it, and 20 hands translates to almost 7 foot tall, people.
Yeah.
That's an impressively large horse. But Tom blows him off again.
Ugh.
Allison is going for a chaperoned promenade with Captain Carter, and she talks about her longing to travel and wonders if he's ever travelled. She assumes he must have because of the whole Napoleonic War thing that happened on the continent. I don't know what kind of sightseeing she expected happened during that fuck-off war, but anyway. Carter looks nervous for a moment and then starts telling her about his involvement in the Battle of Bidassoa, where a bridge collapsed or something and he had to swim his comrades to safety. Okay, hon.
While Captain Carter is out here lying to this poor girl, the chaperones, aka Mary and Miss Hankins, discuss Georgie's prospective suitors, and Mary laments at the idea of Charles Lockhart throwing his hat into the ring. An artist cannot offer the security and position Georgiana needs. But never mind that, Mary. Miss Hankin has some tea to spill. It seems that the army has been running up vast amounts of credit and not paying anyone, and the shopkeepers are up in arms. Gee, how surprising. Mary takes these concerns to Tom, who dismisses them because he wants that yearly government annuity of £5,000 for the barracks. What's a few unpaid bills besides that? I don't know, dude. Try asking all the shopkeepers how they feel about acquiring debt so that your schemes will work.
Tom is back to Tommy.
Dr. Fuchs examines Esther, who has been wincing all episode, and tells her she has a severe intestinal inflammation. Lady Denham blames the dodgy herbs she's been taking. Dr. Fuchs takes one whiff of them and agrees. He tells her to stop taking them at once. he offers a tincture instead. No guarantee it will work, but at least it won't cause her certain death, so Esther is willing to give it a try.
Tea time with Georgiana and Arthur is back for part 2. This time, they discuss the drawing Mr. Lockhart gave her. She explains how uncomfortable she feels always being the subject of people's constant fascination, but Lockhart's gaze feels palpable. Arthur says that he feels the complete opposite. He is constantly overlooked, but that being drawn by Lockhart made him feel seen for the person he truly was for the first time.
He asked me how I would like to be seen. I didn't know how to answer.
In my experience, people see the world through a particular set of views and prejudices. But not Mr. Lockhart. He sees things with a rare clarity.
Okay, so it's been like 15 minutes, so let's get back to Hayrick Park. Charlotte and Colborne are still looking for little Leo, and what do you know, there's a sudden downpour, and then now the romantic leads are all sexy and wet. They take shelter under a big tree to wait out the storm. Charlotte takes the opportunity to tell him what Augusta said earlier vis-a-vis being an intolerable burden, and Colborne looks distressed. He has feelings!
Yes.
When Charlotte says the girls hardly know him, he tells her that's for the best. Ooh, sexy elusiveness. He then spots Leo's hat on the ground and realises his daughter is up the tree, splayed adorably.
She really is adorable. Captain Fraser happens across Allison as they have both gone to the same meadow to pick wildflowers, when that very same storm forces them to take cover in the woods. They do a lot of very cute bantering, and she asks who he is gathering flowers for. Colonel Lennox. She then asks him to tell her brave Captain Carter she will write to him. Captain Fraser looks like he's been kicked in the face, but agrees. That evening at the Parkers, Georgiana tells Charlotte that she has learned about Sydney's reasons for being in Antigua. She doesn't understand it at all because her father's plantation was sold at his death, and she has her inheritance but nothing else. Charlotte continues to be the smartest person in the show and asks about Georgiana's family, specifically about her mother. According to Georgiana's father, she died giving birth to her. But did she? Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, abrupt mood change because a bouquet of wildflowers, picked by Captain Fraser, is delivered to Charlotte, supposedly from Colonel Lennox. He's requesting her company at the fair tomorrow. Dude is parched. Like
Parched day, as they say in French. Speaking of Colonel Lennox, his regiment are engaged in a round of boxing, and it's Captain Carter's turn to get the shit punched out of him. He claims he can't concentrate on his fight because Allison has sent him a soppy letter with an enclosed poem. Panic! She expects him to reciprocate with a poem, and he worries she will think him a fool. Captain Fraser offers him a collection of his favourite poems, and bish bash boom, we have a Cyrano scenario, folks.
Yep.
Let the fuckery begin. It's the following day. Charlotte is back at Hayrick Park, teaching Leo the names of flowers. Once again, she's not very good at it, and Augusta has to teach her all the names instead. At this point, it's really more of a picnic than a lesson. Anyway, conversation turns to dead mothers, as it's wont to do with these three. And Augusta explains that her mother was Leo Mother's twin. And she alludes to circumstances surrounding Leo's mother's death, which is all very tantalising, but in classic Gothic novel cliché. But before we find out what that was, they're interrupted by Colborne coming outside to join their picnic party because he's decided he needs to occasionally act like a dad. Small mercies.
Yes.
Huzzah. Huzzah.
Over at Sanditon House, Esther tells her aunt she won't be joining her at the fair as she wants to make sure Clara doesn't steal any of the silverware while the servants are out. God, I love Esther so much.
Love that.
Of course, Clara immediately goes into labor and has to be dragged up the stairs by an annoyed Esther, who keeps telling her to stop being so dramatic and implies that she's doing this just to spite her. God, that scene was just hysterical. Anyway, back at the picnic, and things take an awkward turn when Augusta starts alluding to Lucy's unhappiness at being in Sanditon. But Colburn shuts her down quickly.
Perhaps she felt as I do. Trapped.
We have discussed this. You'll be introduced to society when you are ready.
When will that be, Uncle? Since you seem so determined to avoid the company of those around you. And I'm 30.
Miss Markham, I'm sure your uncle only has your best interests at heart.
Anyway, little Leo comes along asking what types of flowers she's holding, and her dad informs her that they are cornflowers, a.k.a. Centaura. Centaura. It's named after Chiron. It's named after Chiron, the centaur. So, Centauria. Charlotte, the Greek mythology nerd, explains that in the myth, he used them to heal his wounds from the poisoned arrows. I sense a metaphor here. Just a little tiny one. Charlotte says that cornflowers are her favorite, so Colborne gives them to her in a rather intense gaze-holding way. OMG, G, 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 G. Yes, and more later, but I have changed my opinion on Mr. Colborne.
We all have.
Yeah. Allison and Captain Carter meet before the fair. She loved the verse he picked out for her, First Love by John Clare. Interestingly enough, that poem uses a lot of language about flowers, so perfect for her interactions with Captain Fraser the previous day. But conveniently, Carter is called away and Allison is escorted by Captain Fraser. She tells him that his letter made her feel as if he could see into her soul. Side-eye emoji to the max. She says he is both a hero and a poet and tells him about his bravery at Bidassoa, which immediately pisses Captain Fraser off. I mean, and he's barely able to contain the pissed offedness. Barely.
Read the room, Allison. He was clearly like, did he? Anyway, Georgiana and the Hawkins are handing out sugar boycott flyers at the fair. Lady Denham can't help but make snide remarks about it being a useless endeavour.
I suppose you would support such a cause, given your origins.
And yet here I am, the wealthiest woman in Sanditon.
And where did the wealth come from?
We don't like to think about that, okay, Lady Denham? Shh. Back at Hayrick Park, and the Colbornes have packed up their picnic and are heading into the house. Leah remarks how she had the best day ever, and that even Augusta almost smiled. Colborne snarks that is impossible, as she's incapable, which makes everyone smile, even Augusta. But the bell tolls for the hour, and Charlotte realises she's late for the fair, and her date with Colonel Lennox. She runs off just in time to arrive for the grand unveiling of this year's attraction. No, not an elephant, a military hot air balloon. Wow.
It does look impressive.
It doesn't get off to the best of starts because absolutely no one volunteers to ride in the damn thing. But Charlotte, game as ever, decides she's going to be the first one up, and after much back and forth about whether she's allowed because her poor little lady constitution might not bear it, they eventually allow her. Unfortunately for everyone, though, she goes up for the ride with Colonel Lennox, who is all heart eyes emojis and telling her she's not like other girls, which is, again, huge red flag territory, by the way, women. You are like other girls. Don't trust a man that says that.
Yes. On the ground, his remarkably undisciplined soldiers lose grip on the rope tethering the balloon to the ground. Everyone goes into a panic as it starts to drift off towards the ocean. But fear not! Arthur comes to the rescue again. He grabs the rope and saves the day. His new bestie Lockhart pulls him into a hug and tells him he is a hero. It's so cute.
Oh, so cute!
Back in the balloon, Charlotte tells Lennox that she has secured a truce with her charges and has changed her mind about Colborne. She is sure he's just mourning the loss of his wife. This worries Lennox, who warns her to be on her guard around him. He explains that he had a previous relationship with Colborne's late wife and that Colborne stole her from him and then destroyed her. Sure, Jan. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's exactly how that went down.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Over at Sanditon House, Clara has miraculously given birth without even a midwife, and Esther is now joyfully cradling a shiny, clean baby. She tries to get Clara to hold him, but she seems fully postpartum depressed and refuses. There is a very good chance that Esther's gonna steal that baby. Charles Lockhart is painting in his studio when there is a knock on the door. Georgiana is on the other side. She tells him she will let him paint her, and if she's satisfied, he can name his price. He promises not to rest until they are both satisfied. And is it hot in here, or is it just me?
This dialogue was insane.
Yes. He asks if she is alone. She is, but she gives him a sassy look and walks off. Oh my God.
I'm dead.
Yeah. There's gonna be some clothes throwing. I'm willing to bet. But anyway.
Please, Jesus. Following the fair, Tom arrives home to find himself accosted by angry shopkeepers. They want their damn money. He promises to go speak to Colonel Lennox on their behalf, but when he does this, Lennox pressures him into gambling some more. A lot more. Mm-hmm. He loses £100, money he does not have, so he feels he cannot ask about the soldiers incurring debts, and Colonel Lennox has him right where he wants him. Meanwhile, in the corner of the same room, Edward's moping. Captain Carter asks him what the problem is, and he explains he's just learned he is to be a father. Carter's like, that's a cause for celebration. Edward gets a twinkle in his eyes and goes full Bond villain as he proclaims, "It may yet be." Captain Fraser then approaches Captain Carter to tell him he knows all about Bidder Sower lie. Remarkable, given that the battle happened 7 years ago, and Captain Carter must have been in diapers then. He tells him to set the story straight with Allison ASAP. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Elsewhere, Allison and Charlotte are headed to bed. Charlotte arranges her bouquet from Colonel Lennox, but ends up fascinated by the cornflowers from Colborne, twisting them around so that us viewers realise that Charlotte's got a crush. The end.
Oh, man.
What an episode.
I know. Oh, gosh. So, what were your first impressions on this episode?
This was my favourite episode so far, and I know that I said that last week. Still true.
It's nice to see that, they're progressing along at a good pace, and, I would agree with you. This is my favorite so far. I should have saved that quarter of a pineapple.
Yeah.
But, I have a feeling we're going to be going above the 5 pineapple mark if things keep going in this same way going forward.
We are going to run out of pineapples, yeah.
But yeah, I thought the pacing was good. I thought the way they moved the story forward worked well. Totally enjoyable.
Very funny as well. Again, I found myself laughing a lot at these episodes. Like, what I really enjoy about Sanditon is that the stakes of the drama, like, sometimes they're really high, like when the town's burning down. Yeah. But for the most part, it's just like, someone needs a balloon. Somebody is flirting with somebody else. It's just a pleasant time. I don't have to be worried that someone's going to die at any moment.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's really wholesome. I love it. The ships really, they really set sail and they were out there bobbing along, destroying me.
Yes.
One thing I really noticed this week, though, is the complete lack of servants at Heyrick Park.
Yeah.
It's like a ghost town. it's really bizarre that they don't have any extras there at the estate. Like, is the house haunted? ? Are we going to find out that Colborne has been dead for years?
No, I mean...
Charlotte's just been hanging out by herself.
I mean, it makes no sense. And, I'm thinking that, was it, it couldn't have been that all of the servants at Hayrick Park were off at the fair like they were at Sanditon House, because this was like days. We haven't seen anybody.
Why is there nobody at the stable yard as well?
Seriously.
Fucking weird. I was like, where's your groom? Why is he harnessing his own horse? I just had a full mental break. This man is too rich to only have one housekeeper and no one else. And like, by the way, she's never working. She was reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
Like, what? Maybe the furniture all comes alive like in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. Don't look too close at that candlestick over there.
And it can't be a budget thing because they have like 1,000 extras.
Exactly.
On the set. It's just like, what's going on?
They could throw a few people over at Colburn's house.
Yeah.
Just a few. And honestly, the fact that there were no folks in the stable was just ridiculous. Hannibal is going full on front kick, gonna slice you like Bruce Lee in the stable. They need some help in there. So yeah.
At this point, Charlotte is like most of the staff. She is a governess and a stable boy.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, one quick correction. The Scottish one is actually Irish. Whoops.
Oopsie.
My bad. But in episode 1, I heard the name Captain Fraser and just assumed he was Scottish. Like, and now as he's been speaking. Okay, like in episode 2, I was kind of like, you know who he sounds like? Jamie Dornan. And Jamie Dornan is a whole Irish man. That's an Irish man. And yet it still didn't click in my brain until this episode that he was Irish. Yeah. What's wrong with me? Why am I this way?
Scottish, Irish.
To be fair, like, there were a lot of Scots that migrated to Ulster. So maybe that's where the name comes from. Yeah, okay. Quick history lesson. Following the British Revolution, where we were briefly a republic, there was an uprising in Ireland, and they were like, how can we solve this problem? Let's give most of the rebellious lords land over to some very helpful Scottish lords. And they all moved into the northeast of Ireland, into an area called Ulster, and then a few hundred years later you would then get the troubles of Northern Ireland, because you've got a bunch of non-Catholic Protestants now living in the north who are like, excuse me, I don't want to be part of United Catholic Ireland, that sounds terrible. So once again, England didn't think this through.
Nope. Oh, man.
Thank you for that fun history lesson. Anyway, do we need to add the horse whisperer to our list of...
to the list of skill sets? Yes.
But also to our list of illusions, because I've never seen the horse whisperer, but was she whispering, and is that what he does? Does he go, shh, shh? I've never seen that movie.
There's a little bit more to it than just shushing. But it was a little way too mystical. And ooh, you have magic powers. I must appreciate you, Charlotte.
I think the whole horse whispery thing was done as like a metaphor of like, look at her.
Yes.
She's so nurturing and kind, and she's going to
heal heal this man and this family, and yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. I mean, I loved it, but also I was like, this is a level of cheese I did not sign up for.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
yes,
if we delve into storylines, we should talk about the Charlotte and Colborne of it all. I mean,
yes.
Finally,
yeah.
Finally, it's setting sail. Welcome aboard the good ship Heyborne.
Heyborne, is that what it's called?
I assume so, because people keep hashtagging it on Twitter. So,
oh,
I mean, what else would it be? Because he doesn't really go by his first name.
Very true.
Anyway, we have cornflowers, we have sexual tension, floppy hair, and waistcoats. All that good period drama cliche. You said you changed your mind about him.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
I am definitely a fan. Yeah, he I don't know what it is, but, you know, when he was walking across that field with Charlotte,
yeah.
I was having flashbacks. Yes, I was having flashbacks, and I was like, oh, God, men in waistcoats and tight breeches.
Yeah, that scene where he's, like, walking across the grounds towards the picnic.
Yes.
I was like, oh, damn.
Yes. Yes. I was like, oh, okay, I'm here for it.
It's like, this is your moment. This is your Darcy walking across the field in Pride and Prejudice moment.
Precisely. But yeah, and I really like the chemistry between the two of them. I am aboard this ship seriously. Throwing the anchor away. Let's go.
I love that little walk around the grounds, and like the way that he comes across as quite like guarded and aloof, but he's always making little jokes and like trying to include Charlotte in them, and like I feel like he's sort of unconsciously flirting with her throughout those scenes. And I think his guardedness is sort of why I like him. I think, you know, it's like more intriguing. There's like, you get little glimpses of him, of like, he's obviously like funny and smart, but he's not gonna just like give you a full insight into who he is straight off the bat. And I like a puzzle. I like an enigma. Like, let's work out who he is. And I think that's what Charlotte's going through the same process as us, like being like, oh, he has something about him.
Yes. No, I totally agree with you. You know, when we look at the other ships that are happening on this show, you know, with the exception of Captain Fraser, all of the other ones are just like panting. You know, after these young women.
I don't think Captain Fraser's not panting. He just knows that.
No, he's being understated in his panting.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, the thing about Colborne is, you know, he's got all of this kind of mystery surrounding him, and you know, the fact that, you know, we're starting to see little glimpses of who he is just intriguing. You know, we're not being shoved head first into this ship.
Yeah.
You know? Which all of the other ones are seemingly go, see, these two right here? Yep.
There is like something like kind of more mature about this ship than the others, because I feel like
definitely,
because it's definitely not like Allison's first love, or like the pure sexual tension that is Charles and Georgiana.
Yes,
there's something like very emotionally intelligent happening between these two people, because I feel like Charlotte is really able to engage with him on so many different levels, including with his relationship with his daughters. So it's like she's gonna be a huge part of his bridging the gap that he has with his family, and that's so powerful in its own way. And there's, you know, obviously some sort of weird trauma or event that happened with his wife that I'm fascinated by.
Yes. It's like, okay, destroyed her? What does that mean? But, you know, dude, I'm taking everything that comes out of your mouth with a great big heaping tablespoon of salt.
A salt lake. Let's go whole lake of salt.
Yeah, a whole damn salt lick.
But then I thought it was interesting that he, earlier, Colborne himself said, like, it's better if the girls don't get to know me. So I think he has bought into this idea that he's responsible for his wife's unhappiness. But then he's also a bit defensive later on with Augusta. So I'm just like, what happened? Just tell me. I don't like not knowing. I need to decide for myself. I can't imagine that he would ever hurt somebody on purpose. It might have just been sort of one of those wrong people get married situations.
Yeah, it could very well be. You know, the fact that both of them have lost their first loves, I think gives them, you know, that level of maturity that we're not seeing with the others. But I'm totally here for it. Need to know now. Damn it.
I want them to talk about this so much, and like, I wonder, like, if he ever met Sydney? Question mark. Question mark. Because you think about it, they live in the same town.
Yeah.
And if she's like, hey, I was in love with this guy, he might have met Sydney.
I would think so.
That's crazy. That, I don't know why that would be interesting to me, but I would love to hear, like, what he thought of Sydney versus... Because, like, Sydney comes across as a bit of a dick, doesn't he? So I wonder, like, what he made of Sydney and, like, how he feels about the fact that she's been in love before. I imagine that he would be like, oh, okay. He would be more understanding of that than, say, a Colonel Lennox figure, who I think Colonel Lennox would probably be like, I don't want her to love anyone else other than me. Because he's so intense.
Yeah.
Creepy and stalking her.
Gosh. But, yeah, totally here for it. Let's dive into the other ship from the Heywood sisters, Allison, and her two boys.
God, what a mess.
I know.
I love and adore Captain Fraser so much, and I think it's adorable that he collects wildflowers and carries poetry around with him. I hope Allison realizes that her brave romantic soldier that she's imagined is actually
is
the other
not
guy.
The puppy.
No,
it's not
the
puppy.
One. It's right in front of you.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, the one with the scar.
Oh my god, he even has a romantic scar. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Oh god.
I know.
He's just, the thing is, like, sometimes I'm sort of like, Allison, stop projecting these romantic ideals onto real people, but then Captain Fraser exists. Maybe she's not wrong.
Yes.
Maybe.
It's like, yeah, Captain Fraser, your trope is right here.
Yeah, he's over there, and he's into
yes.
But I also,
I mean,
yeah,
you know, the whole Cyrano, you know, storyline, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, this is never gonna work. It's like, you're never gonna be able to pull this off if you already know that you don't have the, you know, fill in the blank skill. Then having somebody else clue you along and it's never going to work, because one day you're going to have to fess up. So, you know, yeah.
It's just very clear that Captain Carter doesn't think more than one step ahead, does he? It's just absolutely so stupid. No.
Oh gosh.
But I do have a little bit of sympathy for him, even though he's a lying little prick, because he's desperate to live up to these very dramatic, high romantic ideals that Allison has projected onto him. And you can tell, like, he was uncomfortable before he started lying. He still did it, but he questioned whether he should. I think he's sort of like, I'm not good enough. She's not going to be impressed by who I really am. He's sort of catfishing her, and there is a part of me that sort of feels bad for him, because usually that's done from, like, a place of low self-esteem, and he obviously does like her. He's just not. He's not
confident.
He's not. I don't know. They're not a good mix. I don't think the person he actually is would be someone that Allison would be interested in long term.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Ironically, though, he's taken on all the characteristics of Captain Fraser.
Yeah, so, he's just like, okay, dude, I'm just gonna kind of be a photocopy of you, okay?
That would absolutely piss me off if I was Captain Fraser. I'd be like, you're just essentially using my personalities to get the girl I like. That's punch him in the face.
When is he gonna put his foot down?
I think
that's what I want to know.
I hope that was him putting his foot down, because I mean, the poetry thing is sort of like a benign white lie, but then lying about the battle, I have a feeling that he's actually describing heroic actions that Captain Fraser did. So it's like a next level psychopath. What's that movie? Single white female? He's single white femaling Captain Fraser.
Oh, God.
Speaking of the Battle of Badosa, I did, as everyone knows, I spoke about last week how I was reading about the French Revolution. I'm not quite yet at 1813, so this was annoying for me. I was like, spoilers! But I did look up some important facts for all of us to know about this battle.
Awesome.
So, it took place in the 7th of October, 1813. Bear in mind, the show is set in 1820.
Yes.
So that's 7 years, and insane, because that boy looks 18 at most.
He looks, yeah.
He's a child.
Yes.
So this is a period of French history that's very complicated. So I don't blame you if you're not sure where to place this in the timeline. So just to be clear, this battle took place as part of what everyone calls the Peninsular War, one of many, many wars fought during this time. And this was fought mostly in the Iberian Peninsula, hence the name. And there was an alliance of Spain, Portugal, and the UK, and they fought against the occupying forces led by Napoleon that had gone into Spain and Portugal, and then eventually they pushed them out of the countries. But this particular battle was towards the end of this, and towards the end of Napoleon's stint as emperor. Not many months later, actually I think like in April, Paris was invaded and Napoleon was exiled to Alba. So really we're talking about the downward spiral here. Now if you look up where the Bidassoa River is, you'll see that it's right on the edge, the western tip of France, and it creates a natural border between France and Spain, and the basic point of the battle was for the Allies to cross the river and enter French territories and fuck them up. And to do this, they waited until like a really heavy rainstorm that they used to conceal their movements. They waited until it was like really grey and pouring it down. And they all got it, well, not all of them, but a couple of the battalions got in the river and crossed it during the storm. It's fucking crazy. The river was so deep, it came up to their armpits. But they marched across, and when they got to the other side, a whole bunch of French battalions were waiting for them. British and the Spanish and the Portuguese won the battle, obviously. And one fun fact I came across while reading about the battle, there was a prominent figure named John Colborne.
Oh!
He commanded the 2nd Brigade of the Light Division, who are the sneaky ones. They sneak around without horses. I don't think there's any connection to anybody in this show, but I was like, what if they got their name from here? Because it's a really unusual name. And this and the fact that he named his horse Hannibal makes me like, there's a connection here, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm like, and also the fact that Leo has a red coat, I'm like, what? What's going on? What's going on, Michelle? I want to know. There's so many mysteries.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be awesome? If that's what they wound up doing, that, you know, he is, or, you know, fought in that particular battle, maybe got injured and was out of the army and, I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
It's a possibility. I'm just floating it because I was like, that's too juicy not to mention. So.
Yeah. Loving it.
I would really love it if like pretty much every show we've ever watched has had some link to the French Revolution, particularly poldark, and I'm like I'm trying desperately to read as much as I can. It's so complicated and dense. I never feel like I know or understand what the hell happened. So it would be really great if somebody could make a show where I didn't end up having to research anything about the French Revolution.
Oh gosh,
it's too much.
We need a Ken Burns level documentary series that we can watch. That'll help explain all of it.
I feel like you would just end up more confused. So far, I've got like I think I'm like in the 1890s in my reading, and like almost every 2 years they're like this. They come up with a new constitution. There's a new revolution, and it's just like I need everyone to calm down. I can't keep up with all the names and like who's in charge. I love you, France, but you're so dramatic. You're so dramatic.
Yes.
Speaking of dramatic people, we need to talk about Georgiana and Charles, aka.
Oh my God, yes.
The best
one. My God, yes. Were you getting Desperate Romantics vibes off of Charles this week? Oh my God!
The drinking and painting, and the fact that it didn't look like he was actually doing anything. It was just like sloppy and a mess.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another cute boy doing this stuff.
That's exactly what it was like to paint. His hair was so floppy as well. I was like, oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he was definitely rocking the bohemian vibe this week.
Though the red house coat was giving me Hugh Hefner in a way I did not appreciate. I love you, Charles,
my God.
but please burn that thing.
Yes.
I was kind of disappointed we didn't get very many scenes with them, but the ones we did get were hot. Oh my God.
They were awesome.
The sexual tension. That final scene. I was uncomfy. I was like,
okay, this is going too fast. We're going from, I can't stand you to, I'm going to take all them clothes off. Like way too fast. Because it felt like this episode took place over the course of like 2 or 3 days.
She had one conversation with Arthur and was like, I'm asleep with that man.
But, oh my goodness, yeah, when she showed up at his place, again, that second appearance, and, she says, if I'm satisfied, you can name your price. I was like, damn, girl.
He looked shocked as well, though, to be fair. He was like, oh, this is what?
Yeah, I was like, girl, do you realize what you just said? I'm hoping that she didn't.
She knew. The way she walked away, she was like, oh.
Yeah, right. Damn, Georgiana.
She got her
you go,
back.
Girl.
I really liked that scene at the beginning of the episode, though, even though I thought it was kind of ridiculous that she was like, how dare you draw me?
Yes.
Like,
all stompy.
He can draw what he likes, babe. That's how that works.
Seriously.
I really liked that Charlotte asked her how she would like to be seen. I was like, oh, okay, that is sensational.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it really stomped her. She was like, how do I want to be seen? I like that, he's handing over to her, like, some agency.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a participant in how he sees her. And I think that's very interesting. And you, especially because he's an artist, because you always expect artists to care about, like, their own vision and what they want to express and what they see in people.
Mm-hmm.
But he's more interested in, like, getting to know who she really is and how she sees herself and, like, putting that on a canvas. And tragically, seeing a man want to understand his romantic interest feels refreshing. I'm like, he cares about her opinion?
I know. What the hell? What planet are we on?
Like, what? How did you do that? Can't wait to see more of them next.
Yeah,
episode.
me
But
too.
I'm also, like, really terrified. This is hurtling forward very quickly. And
and it's like, guys, we've got another season, so don't get too crazy.
Please calm it down. Also, I don't think my heart can take it, because just to be a suggestion of anything romantic happening between them, I was like, ah!
Signal flares! Sound the alarm bells! It's happening!
Oh my
It's
God.
happening!
I'm such a Charles stan as well. He just shows up for like 5 seconds and gives Arthur a hug, and I'm like, oh, he's the best person in the world.
Oh, God. I wish that there was a way that we could insert the meme from The Office where, everybody's running around and it's like, it's happening! It's happening! Because it's happening!
Stay fucking calm! Yeah. I love that bit. They had to bleep out the swearing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for it.
Unwanted plot points now. Tom's gambling.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, he's an idiot, but I really felt like Colonel Lennox was manipulating him in that final scene.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if, they had loaded dice. For the first time that he did so well, and then it's like, okay, let's have him suck. But yeah, I mean, Colonel Lennox, he may look all nice and shiny, but no, he's not.
I mean, he became just sort of like sinister and like moustache twirling at the end, and I was like, does Tom see this? Because here's the thing with Tom. You never know. Like, sometimes it looks like he's realizing somebody's using him. But then the next episode he'll be like, Captain Lennox is my best friend. Like, I don't know if he's realized what's happened just then.
Oh, God. I think, Tom is someone that lives in pipe dreams. And, I think that he is so desperate, just as he was in the first season, for things to advance for Sanditon, that I think he's willing to put the blinders on, and lock down the spidey senses when it comes to this kind of stuff. And, I hate the fact that, in the first episode, he's talking about, how he's learned his lesson and he's being careful and, all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, dude, you chucked that out the window
so quickly.
Yeah, it was like nice little frosting on a shit cake, but it's all gonna come crashing down, and especially since we see that Colonel Lennox and his crew are not paying for anything that they are getting in that town. It's just. it's all gonna end in tears.
Do you think that battalion has gone around like up and down the coast of England and just like never paid for anything? They're just like rolling into town, making a big show, and
then leaving. It's
kind of like the Music Man. Like he's just like,
yes,
76 trombones in the big parade, and then. But I ain't gonna pay for a thing.
Exactly.
Creepy.
God.
I think, like, this week, I was really struck by his line about, like, having to pay every penny back to Lady Denham and Eliza. I think his ego can't allow, that there's women in charge of him.
Yes.
But I think Tom's grandiosity in building up Sanditon I don't really think he cares that much about the town of Sanditon, because if he did, wouldn't he care more about the people, the shopkeepers getting paid? I think
one would think.
Yeah, it's a very ego-driven, like masculine preoccupation, like legacy building.
Yes.
And I just can't relate to that desire at all. I think it's not something that those of us raised as girls and women really think about. We're not taught to really care about that. And I can't... Yeah. It makes me really unsympathetic to him. I can't help but think that he's kind of slimy for caring so much about that and for wanting to be like the big man in charge, and like he doesn't like when Lady Denham or Eliza tell him how to spend his money. Like
no,
it's just,
God no.
Somebody called him the Donald Trump of Sanditon, and I was loved it.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't think that Tom has the psychopathy.
Yeah, he's not that bad.
Yeah, of the orange one, but I think that he is definitely. I can definitely see him saying, "Oh, it's gonna be the big things, lots and big, the biggest thing ever."
Yeah.
With the elephant and everything.
Promising
Absolutely.
everything and delivering a hot air balloon,
Yes. Oh, God. Ugh. And Lennox's battalion is the perfect place for Edward to be, if they're all scammers. He's found his people.
It also puts into perspective that scene where Charles was ripping into them, because I was like, yep, you may be correct, Charles. Team Bohemians forever.
Yes, absolutely.
I love the idea of also Captain Lennox. Like, this is years after Waterloo, and he's still sort of coasting on his trial.
He's still got his medal on. He still has his shiny medal on.
I'm a war hero, so let me just pull up into your town and try to flirt with all of the girls. Just absolutely ridiculous.
Ugh, God. Ugh.
But speaking of Edward,
yes.
I mean, this whole cluster fuck with the baby and Clara.
Oh my God. It was hilarious. Do you think that she really had no idea Edward was going to be there?
Yeah.
Because she looked genuinely shocked.
Two things occurred to me this episode is that she didn't know he was there and had literally not planned him into whatever her scheme is. And she had never contacted him about that pregnancy.
Yeah. That, the writing him letters and never hearing from him, blah, blah, blah. That, I called bullshit on that the instant it came flying out of her face. But yeah, when she found out that he was in town, she looked genuinely shocked. But she's rebounded from that pretty quickly.
Well, yeah.
Don't you think? She's like, oh, okay, I can work with this.
If you take that to its logical conclusion, if she really thought Edward was the father, why wouldn't she have contacted him?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the first thing you would do. Like, excuse me, you have impregnated me, give me money. And the fact that she hasn't makes me think this might not be Edward's baby at all.
Yeah.
And he knows that it's not his baby. But does that actually matter at this point?
Nope. Because Esther's gonna hightail it with that baby.
Mysterious babe. Who's the daddy? Who's the daddy?
I mean, do you think that she could pull it off that this was her baby? Does she?
Well,
because
I think...
Yeah, because the miscarriage happened how many months before she arrived?
Maybe. I think
maybe. And depending on how long she winds up staying in Sanditon, she may be able to pull it off.
That would be fantastic. She's just going to take that baby. Do you think Clara would give her the baby? It'd be like, the condition... Well, look, Lord Babington is fucking rich and a lord.
Yeah.
You would hand that baby over just to be like, hey, that baby's going to be comfortable for life. And also, please give me some money for that baby.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, you could have that baby for X number of pounds.
This is all making me feel really, uncomfortable because I don't...
I know.
That poor baby. And also, Esther...
I know.
Esther, don't pay her for a baby. That's not... No. Oh, God. I have no problem with adoption, but, not for money.
God.
And also, how is Edward going to use this to his advantage?
I know.
Do you think he's going to start being like, oh, Esther, you're looking after my baby?
I have no idea. Although, I know that, he wound up sneaking a letter to Esther away from the house.
To Esther from Babington. Oh, Babington.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
Babington.
Not really sure what that's about, but...
Don't want to know, but we're going to find out against our wills.
Oh, God. But yeah, Clara is just a piece of frickin' work. I'd forgotten her whole thing, but it was just seeing that one scene where she's looks like she's out in the garden or something, I think. Was she outside? She was sitting down having a little convo with Edward. Yeah, they were outside.
How could you forget? Clara, the bitch burned herself. She's psychotic.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just like, oh, right. You're evil.
I'm so glad she's back, though, because she throws a real, spanner in the works, and she could do anything at any point to anyone, just, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. She's very unpredictable.
She is a wild card. Absolutely. Oh, man.
Favorite scenes?
Oh, God. Well, I love the scene where we have Georgiana and Charles, and she's asking him to paint her portrait. It was a really super short scene, but oh my God, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, y'all turned it up to 11 on this one.
When he said he wanted to satisfy her, I was like, oh, damn, he would, I believe him.
I was ready to turn on the bow chicka wow wow.
It's very much like she's shown up with a pizza and they're about to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delivery for Charles. Bow chicka wow 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 wow. But yeah, I love that scene. Also, I thought the scene with Charlotte and Colborne under the big tree in the rain.
Very Jane Eyre.
I love that too.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, this show, it gives and gives and gives some more.
I mean, Esther yelling at Clara to stop being dramatic while yanking up the stairs. I love... The thing is with Esther is, I feel like sometimes I relate to her the most. I'm that's something I would do. Especially when Clara's giving her that list of, Or, you're rich and beautiful and you have a husband who loves you. And Esther's just like, stop, you'll make me cry.
Yeah. Oh, Esther's magnificent. She's just magnificent. And the scene of them going up the stairs I was laughing so hard.
Esther's just like, you're hurting my hand!
Yes.
You want to try banging that uterus, babes?
Oh my gosh.
More.
Oh, awesome.
Arthur with the balloon was just epic.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes. God, I love him so much. Oh.
He's just perfect. And a scene with Georgiana earlier where he was talking about how he feels overlooked. I was just like, my sweet baby prince. And then the way he's building this relationship with Charles is his friend that sees him and who makes him feel good about himself and builds up his self-esteem. I just love that for him. He deserves that.
Oh,
just everything
and more.
Yeah. But I think what my favourite was actually the little picnic sort of scene where you got like an insight into how these people would work as a little family, because earlier on Charlotte was like, they aren't really a family, like this is a family. And then when you add Charlotte into the equation, I think they do become a bit more of a family, and there's like less tension, and they all start joking, and they're all like carefree. And she's even able to mediate things, like when Augusta's like, well, when will I get to go out in society when I'm 30? She's like, okay, calm down, Augusta. Your uncle is just looking out for you. Like, it all feels like really wholesome and family vibes. And I hope we get to see a few more of those scenes like that, because I know something horrible will happen at the end of season 2.
Of course.
Because
of course.
Can we have some nice times, please?
I mean, this show is nothing but I am willing to bet that this show will be nothing but consistent when it comes to the last episode and its cliffhangers. Oh my god. I still have trauma from from season 1, the end of season 1, and just screaming at the television. No!
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do agree with you that it was lovely to see the four of them, in such an idyllic location. Just being natural. It was lovely. It was lovely.
They're such a cute little family. Oh.
Oh God, I love Leo. She's so sweet. And how she was saying, this was the best day ever. I was like, oh!
Did you see how happy she was when Colborne gave Charlotte the flower? She was like,
yes.
Look.
Yeah, Leo's already shipping this.
Yeah. Who can blame her? I wonder if Augusta's going to pick up the vibes, or if she's too much of a teenager.
I'm sure she will. How she'll feel about it, I don't know, but I'm sure she'll pick up on it.
I imagine that if it involves her uncle going out into society more, she'll be thrilled. She'll be like, please, host a big party to celebrate your new marriage. Yes.
Let me out of this house. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, least favorite scene.
Probably any time Tom ignored Arthur. That was bad for my soul.
I'm ready to slap him every time he does that.
Just stop doing it. Really.
Yeah.
Also, Arthur was coming up with some really adorable suggestions. The cow.
The cow.
Fantastic.
The cow.
A really big horse would not be my vote for, but it's an option. It's almost as good as an elephant. We have to talk about the fact that Georgiana pretended that she had 5 elephants back in Antigua.
Yes.
And the fact,
yeah.
and the fact that they just took it as face value. Yes, of course you had 5 elephants. How nice for you! Like,
you're being clowned.
I love it.
I do too.
Favorite costumes.
Oh God.
This week's episode was amazing. Like, it was all about the pleated mushroom collars. Oh my God. So many collars. I loved it. I mean, Georgiana had that beautiful green fichu.
Yes.
So good. And then, did you see Augusta's really dramatic one in the schoolroom? Like, she looked like she could have been in the Tudor era. It was just so many frills.
There's lots of floof.
Yeah.
Lots of floof.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the post that you put up on Instagram of Georgiana's costume with the green collar, and I was just kind of slack-jawed. I went, oh, that is beautiful, and it looks so gorgeous against her skin.
Yeah.
This show, and I seem to recall seeing a comment that, not as many jewels, but, it's absolutely, you're absolutely right. This is a show that does much more during the day, and I think it's probably a more realistic view, especially.
Yeah,
especially
they're not just walking out casually in a tiara down the street.
Exactly. But especially since they're in the country, they're at the sea. Things are gonna be different than what you're gonna see back in London or even at the Bridgerton country seat. You're at the seaside.
Yeah,
things are going to be a little more chill.
I kind of love that about Sanditon. It's a bit more casual, and they're not going like full tits out for a casual daytime. Like you've got like
right,
got neck collars, and everyone's covered up. Okay, because it's fucking freezing in the middle of summer in England.
Well, maybe not right now in England, but
no, it's pretty cold
back
again.
then. Yeah. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
Good. I'm glad. You need a break.
Yeah. But I think it just makes for more interesting fashion choices as well, because it's not always like in Bridgerton it can sometimes feel a bit samey when we're getting like the same style dresses for the daytime and for the evening looks. It's like there's a very distinct difference from in Sanditon when they're going to a ball between when they're like just like chilling out at the beach,
Mm-hmm.
And I think the repeating of some of the same clothes as well makes it feel much more realistic and lived in. And and I find it less annoying when I see like some of the characters walking around with their hair down, because I'm like, it's casual, Rita. Rita, calm down.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and the waistcoats.
Oh my God, the
waistcoats.
I mean,
Colborne's
Colborne was like never dressed properly in the whole episode, and may he never wear coats again, because something about his forearms exposed was very hot.
Yes. Oh God.
When he was in a waistcoat and had the floppy hair, his hair like flopped in front of his eyes. I was like, oh
yes.
How do they know?
Ticking off every single box. Double tick marks.
And he's emotionally restrained. We love it.
Yes, give me more. But yeah, waistcoats forever. Mm-hmm.
Performer of the episode. Who's your pick?
Oh man. There were a lot of really great performances. Esther, I thought, was fantastic. I also, obviously, love everything that we see our dear Charlotte up to. I really loved the scene that you mentioned earlier with Arthur and Georgiana talking about being seen and being unseen. I thought that was really lovely, and thought that the performance that we got from Arthur was really poignant.
Poor baby.
So
Arthur.
it's hard for me to pick. There were so many really great standout performances, but if I had to, I would go with Esther. I was loving her this week.
I picked Crystal Clark, who plays Georgiana. Because that scene with Arthur, I just felt like she blew me away with how much depth she brought to that scene, and she's always like really, really good, and she brings a lot to this character. And I felt like, particularly in season 1, she didn't always get like the most sympathetic material.
Yeah.
Like we all find her kind of whiny. But I just find her just like really engaging, even in like small scenes that aren't really about her. I feel like she has like a lot of screen presence and just amazing. And ever since I found out she's American, I've been waiting for her to slip up with the accent, and she just does.
What?
She's American. Did you not know that?
What?
Go on YouTube and listen to her talk in real life. It's so...
Oh my gosh.
I know. She has probably got the best British accent that I've ever heard an American do.
Wow.
It is insane. It is 100% flawless. Usually even in performances from Americans that I enjoyed, like Goop in Emma. No, I will not call her Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, that's a really good English accent, but you can sometimes tell that it's forced. But she...
How about Kyle Stoller?
Oh no, he was perfect too.
Yeah, he was absolutely flawless. I almost fell on the floor when I found out he was American.
But then he has been working in the West End and in theatre for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Also, his wife is in The Great. Really funny. I'm like now a real big stan of that marriage, because I'm like, both of you are fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I will have to check it out. Wow. Okay. So, Esther, you were good, but...
It's the fact that she's American, maybe tipping it towards...
Well, I mean, I had no idea. And, I mean, she killed it this week.
She did.
But holy crap.
She's been killing it. I think season 2 has been such an upgrade for her.
Yeah. Definite improvement.
And just... I think, like...
She's more multidimensional now. She was really kind of a one note for much of season 1. And in this one, we're seeing many more sides to her. Okay, I'll tie Esther and Georgiana.
Well, we'll see next week. Maybe Esther will bring it out the bag again. We'll see. How many Antigua Black pineapples out of 5?
6.
We've sprung up a new pineapple out of nowhere.
It's definitely a 5.
Yeah.
This was a great episode.
It's sort of like when the pineapple starts growing on top of the other pineapple, when you get like double the fruit.
It's a double pineapple.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Keep it up next time. We have high expectations.
I know, right?
By the way,
my God.
I've given them 5 out of 5 3 episodes in a row. I'm scared for next week.
Yeah, it's like, what goes up must come down. Is that how that goes?
Yeah.
So, no, please keep exceeding our expectations.
Please.
Yes.
Okay, time for postcards from Sanditon. Yes, I'm going to do this every week, and does it not sound like waves to you? Who cares?
Waves!
First postcard said, "Hi Michelle and Rita, I hope you're both having a great week thus far. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts about episode 3, as it's my second favourite episode of the second season. Episode 6 is my favourite. In my opinion, it's the most well done. Ooh, something to look forward to.
Yes!
I love episode 3 because this is where many characters start to open up to each other. There's so many scenes to love. My favourites include the horse scene, the rain scene, the picnic scenes, Clara giving birth. Actually, you never see Clara giving birth. That's one of my pet peeves. Arthur saving the day, etc. It also has one of the best delivered lines by Esther. You cannot bear this child on the stairs given it was conceived on the floor. That would hardly be an auspicious beginning. However,
Esther so much.
The main reason I love this episode is because of the scenes between Georgiana and Arthur while at tea. When Georgiana says, "You don't know what it's like, Arthur, spending your whole life being gazed at. As a child, I was seen as a curiosity, never allowed to forget that I was neither one thing or the other." This, to me, is one of the most powerful scenes of the season. Georgiana's experience and how she has been treated as a biracial woman are something that many, even now, can relate to. And the way Arthur then opens up to Georgiana about his experience is also impactful. I care deeply about this scene so much so that I have been very disheartened to read via Twitter that ITV has cut the scene from the version of this episode available on their iPlayer, and I believe it will be cut when it airs on ITV later. This cut is a travesty. This scene is important for the character arcs of both Georgiana and Arthur. I don't know if anything can be done to have the scene restored, but it is something important for your listeners to know if they're watching episodes via ITV. Other important scenes seem to have been cut as well, and some on Twitter are sharing what those are. If anyone is interested, I am sad to think new viewers are not getting to see the full season as it has been so meticulously crafted by the entire Sanditon team. Thank you again for this podcast. Wishing you a great rest of the week. Best, Eve. Thank you for writing in, Eve.
Thank you for writing, and thank you for letting us know about that cut, because it is, and especially these days where, we have had such an awakening to the issues surrounding people of color, and the fact that we have the opportunity to, if not explore what it means to be biracial in this society, it gives you a great way to be able to frame that kind of conversation. It's a struggle that I know my nieces and nephews who are biracial, I know, they struggled with as they were growing up, being neither one nor the other, not knowing how they should identify themselves. It's an important conversation to have, and it's a great way to get that started. And it's reprehensible that they cut that scene. Oh,
I understand that this episode is 51 minutes and whatever seconds long, and ITV is a commercial channel. They would have wanted to fit some adverts in, but of all the scenes to cut, to pick that one seems just absolutely reprehensible. And it also makes absolutely no sense when Georgiana then agrees to be painted later on.
Exactly.
I don't know which scenes you could have cut, to be honest, but definitely not that one.
Yeah. Ugh.
At every turn, ITV is just fucking this up. First you cancel the show, then when you air season 2, you're like cutting scenes out. Ugh, this is why I don't like ITV. BBC fan forever. Anyway.
Oh, gosh. Okay, next up. Hi, Rita and Michelle. Thank you again for a marvelous Fancast. Fancast? I wish.
We're going to offer cash. Yeah.
I joined for Bridgerton, stayed for everything else. I look forward to your weekly deep dives into Sanditon and the characters, performances, and costumes as I commute. I am full of admiration for how you can manage to do it whilst holding down full-time jobs. I'd like to humbly submit some contributions for your Sanditon Jane Austen tropes bingo cards. First impressions / prejudices, self-discovery, self-knowledge, personal growth.
Yeah.
If it had been season 1, I would have submitted hypochondria, but they seem to have jettisoned that one in season 2.
Oh, God. I love the hypochondriac cliche that is Jane Austen character.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, let's see. There isn't much you've said so far about Sanditon Season 2 that I disagree with. I have already binge-watched all the episodes, so I will restrict myself to commenting about episodes 1 to 3 only. Rita, I cried laughing when you brought up the Captain America meme. I can really relate to your experience with the I understand that reference. I was nodding and smiling along as you dissected the literary devices. Like you both, I am fully on board with the Declan Fraser, Allison Haywood, William Carter love triangle. I am a sucker for the Cyrano de Bergerac trope and agree it isn't a straight trope like it appears they've done with The Sound of Music for Alexander Colborne, Charlotte Haywood. I keep waiting for them to break into song. Allison's storyline is definitely a pastiche of references to all kinds of Austen, plus the classics. Rita, you cracked me up with your description of Allison going full Marianne Dashwood.
Yeah.
So true. I also think she has elements of Catherine Morland from Northanger Abbey, in that she has trouble reading people due to her avid readership of novels. And Fraser is like Henry Tilney, the teasing banter, especially at the mess dinner and later when he and Allison are caught in the rain. But he is also very sensible. In the Allison storyline, the literary device of first impressions from Pride and Prejudice stands out to me. The trio are each making judgments about one another. Going back to Sense and Sensibility comparisons, I like Captain Fraser so much better than Colonel Brandon. Sorry. I think having read Sense and Sensibility as a teenager, I got a creepy older man and young girl vibe back then. I love the Brandon character. My teenage self didn't understand the value of an older man in my youth.
By the way, I think he's only like mid-30s.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I too thought he was really creepy and old, and then I read it again at like 20, and I was like, oh, he's fine. This is normal.
Yeah, that's good.
He's quite young.
That's good. Yeah. Let's see. I really love the use of the romantic poem First Love by John Clare sent to Allison. It was absolutely perfect. Overall, I think the actors Frank Butler and Rosie Graham did a fantastic job. I have not been as invested in the Charlotte, Lennox, Colborne love triangle, and that just seems to be personal taste. The acting is superb, and I can't fault that. I guess the chemistry isn't speaking to me, and I feel disappointed that I'm not as into it. Same with Georgiana and Charles Lockhart, but I think these storylines are really engaging, and I just love the writing for the characters. The mess dinner banter about the lamb was gold. Michelle, I thought your comments on Lennox being parched were fabulous. I hadn't realized how often he had a drink in his hand, but let's face it, not out of character for a soldier. Just on Lockhart and Georgiana, you asked for some trope suggestions for their relationship. How about elements of Shakespeare's
Beatrice?
Thank you. I can't read this morning. Shakespeare's Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing. Overall, it has been well written and acted. I really love the banter and particularly Augusta's bitchiness. Esther is a standout. Her line in episode 1 at the parade when Allison asks her for advice for others looking for a match. Treat him with disdain, and if he persists, marry him. So good.
Esther needs like a book of quotes to be released.
Yes. I would love to have like little posters because there's a company. This is not sponsored, by the way. There's a company called Mixed Tiles. I think it is. It's like all over Instagram and stuff where, you know, you can get these really cute posters that say hilarious things. And I would have them put some of her lines on those little posters.
I'd really love some of her like really depressing comments from season 1 to be on like a motivational poster. Just like,
yes.
I think one of the ocean and just underneath, you will regret ever having stepped foot in Sanditon. I know I do. Like, it's a motivational poster.
Yes.
We love that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Oh goodness. Okay. Back to the email. Beautiful costumes. Thanks to whoever pointed out that Georgiana was wearing the coat worn by Lydia Bennet in 1995 Pride and Prejudice. And I am loving the millinery as well. The ladies' hats are really beautiful. Did you notice that Georgiana didn't wear a hat when the girls went to the army camp in episodes 1 and 2? Yes, I did.
Well, she's looking for a hat to buy, so it all
yes.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. May I contribute some thoughts about historical accuracy? I heard Dr. Hannah Grieg is the historian and was also on Poldark and Bridgerton. Everything seems in the realm of possibility. During the Peninsular Wars, the Battle of Bidassoa, British-Portuguese and Spanish versus French, was in 1813. Waterloo happened in 1815, and Sanditon is set in 1820. So if you are a very young soldier in 1813, that would make you mid to late 20s during the sojourn in Sanditon. Carter seems to be way too young to have fought in Bidassoa, but I think that our dear Captain Fraser could very well have been there.
Yes.
That last comment was yes. mine. So,
how old do you think he is? Because I'm getting like almost 30, like maybe.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I like 29, 30 years old. Yeah, he's in his late 20s, early 30s. Back to the email. And the 35th foot had orange facings on their jackets, although they look yellow to me on screen. They do me as well, which is a nod to William III of Orange, the Dutch Anglo-King. Although a Sussex regiment, it was once affiliated with Belfast, and this might explain the Irish Captain Declan Fraser. Okay, that's a spoiler about his nationality. It was mentioned in episode 6.
Well, we just realized he's Irish.
Yes. we
so
may
now
be a little
he's from
slow on the
Northern
uptake.
Ireland, then that makes what I said about his name being Fraser make absolute sense. Because maybe his ancestors were Scottish, they moved over to Ulster. Oh my god, we've now got a very complicated
oh my goodness. She lists a source, historical memoir of the 35th Royal Sussex Regiment of Foot.
I can add that to our notes, so everyone wants to read it. I'm sure you're just as nerdy as us.
Yes. Thank you so much for including that. One last thing, John Clare's first book of poetry was released in 1820, apparently.
Wait,
what?
How is Captain Fraser carrying that around in the wars?
And it's a ratty looking old book. So it's not like it's like fresh off the presses. That thing looks like it's been through a war. Yes.
There hasn't been a battle for 5 years.
Right. I have questions. Thanks for indulging a history nerd. Anytime.
Please come
you
back.
are welcome here.
You are my people, yeah.
Yes. I am looking forward to your next installment. Keep up the great work. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on episodes 4 through 6. Cheers, Mary Kay, Perth, Western Australia.
Good day.
Hello. Good day.
Okay, so let's talk episode 4. Here's the description. Tensions mount when Colborne and Colonel Lennox reunite at Lady Denham's garden party.
Oh my.
That's going to be interesting. Georgiana learns a vital piece of information. Finally. Allison's much-desired proposal nearly ends in tragedy.
What?
Edward attempts to exploit Clara's predicament. Of course he does. Okay.
Of course he does.
What are you most looking forward to about this? Because I'm freaking out.
I was going to say, is water wet? Of course he's going to attempt to exploit it. I really want to know what is happening with this proposal.
What?
It's like, wait, what?
You just met him.
We need, no. Too soon.
It's been 2 weeks. You don't know him.
I know.
He's been lying about everything. What tragedy? What?
I know.
But also, Georgiana learned some stuff finally.
I wonder if it's about his first wife.
Georgiana. No, this is going to be...
Oh, shit.
This is going to be
about Tom's trip.
Sydney's trip.
Yes. I'm getting the Parkers mixed up. Good God.
How dare you do that to Sydney?
I'm sorry. Sydney, R.I.P. Sydney, R.I.P. Okay, so we're going to find out something. Oh, my God.
Do you think it's just going to be, like, part of the information? Because I feel like it's too early for them to just be like,
it says vital.
Unless it's, like, a really big cat and it has repercussions. I don't know. Oh, my God, I'm
it says vital, so... oh God, I'm
scared.
Really wonder.
I'm so excited to watch it, but I'm scared. Like, Colborne and Colonel Lennox. Also, do you think they're gonna like fight for Allison? Not Allison. Charlotte's hand.
For Charlotte, I think it's too early for the fight to happen, but I think that
they could go full Bridget Jones and just like start hitting each other in the street.
Yeah. I think Colborne is definitely going to get woke about what all is happening with Colonel Lennox, and I think it's going to be good.
He's going to be like, oh my God. Good. Colonel Lennox is trying to flirt with my governess.
And that, Colborne, and Lennox, obviously, bad blood. But my guess is Colborne knows much more about Lennox's sleaziness. So this is going to make him maybe protective of our dear girl Charlotte. I don't know. I can't wait to watch it. Okay. So that's all from us this week. We'll be back discussing episode 4 next week. But in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates. We are In the Books Network. You can also email us if you want to be read out on our Postcards feature. Then you can reach us at inthebooksnetwork@gmail.com. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with friends and give us a rate and review. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye!